The last one I'm going to talk to you about is theme. Now, theme can also be an indicator of whether or not it's right for the format that you're working with. And you know what? I'll add content to that because I know I mentioned that too. So theme and content, they're kind of related. So theme is the takeaway, the so what, the message, that the why does this matter? Why does this book matter of the story? Theme obviously applies to every fiction work that you write. In general, when I have an idea, I immediately think about what themes, why am I writing this? What is compelling me to write this? Why is this important? It's really important that you get that down, because I don't know how many times I've run into a manuscript where I've talked to the writer and the writer is not clear on what their theme is. And when that happens, whoo, the plotting is really hard to, it's really hard to re-engineer if you're not thinking about it until like much later in the game. But that's not said, everything's savable. But when you talk about theme, you usually find in picture books, stories, and in board books, board books in particular may not always have like one of those kinds of message type things. It could be just strictly educational. But in general, in picture books, you'll find things like lessons that you would teach kindergartner, stuff about like manners, respect, friendship, love, loss, acceptance. These are all themes. And sometimes themes can get a little bit darker as you get older, or as you move into the older formats. There could be themes about what we call like the problem books, like abuse, addiction, this sort of thing. So the reason why I bring up theme is sometimes I see manuscripts that are really heavy in theme for a very young audience, and that is really can be very, very, very tough to sell. And so I just want to keep that in mind. I'm never going to say it's impossible, because everybody always breaks the rules, and it's an amazing book when that happens. So just keep that in mind, that some themes, if you say you have a kindergarten, if you have a picture book that's about addiction, I might go, ooh, we may want to play with that a little bit, or see how it's being executed, so that it would feel more appropriate for that audience. People often ask, is it okay to do like molestation? Like what happens if abuse, like where is abuse appropriate? And again, like it really just depends on how things are being executed. Just be mindful of that, especially when you're thinking about where you hope the book will appear. So just put some consideration into your theme and matching that up with the audience. So middle grade molestation, you can definitely do it. And you just have to be careful about how you do it. In YA, pretty much, it's like a no holds barred. Any theme you can tackle. Now, so that's theme. Now, as I just mentioned, content can also be an indicator. When I look at manuscripts, I might say, okay, not this whole manuscript, but this little piece, this content might feel a little bit out of range for this format. And how do I figure that out? Well, if you have a middle grade book, you have these are generally being given to kids that are not 7th graders, but like, there might be a 5th grader reading this, a 4th grader reading this, a 3rd grader reading this, right? Because kids read up. So when that happens, there's generally some things that are not considered by and large appropriate for the middle grade book. And that might be like, sexual activities, curse words, stuff like that. Even like words that are more borderline, like, the CRAP word, right? There's just a lot of little nuances, and usually it's just not a big deal to revise a manuscript, because I think in some cases it's worth the sacrifice, and some others it's not, and that's really up to you as a writer. But I will tell you that this audience in chapter book as well, there are certain things that you might not want to do, because it might be deemed inappropriate by the school, and next thing you know, because you had that one word in there, they can't share it with their kids. And in this example, Paris Pan was, I was all booked to do a school visit, and then when the teachers were reviewing the book and preparing their students for it, they realized the word groping was in the book, and because the word groping was in the book, I couldn't do the school visit anymore. And so I was like, man, for me, it wasn't really, I didn't really, I had never had any problems until just this one particular school. But it made me think, man, in the revision, I'm going to take out that word groping because I don't think it'll make any difference to the book at all, to me. And it means I won't lose a school visit over that one word. But just so you know, there is some, so I generally give advice like that just in case. Now, if you're adamant about keeping it, more power to you. Again, that's a personal thing. But I do look at, do I have major chunks of content that would not be suitable for this particular audience based on how librarians and teachers might view it, and parents as well. Again, though, if your book is meant to be, to take risks, then you should take whatever risks that you want to take. Just be aware that it could affect your ability to, get the books carried in school markets for certain things. So a good rule of thumb, if you are worried about that, if you're envisioning what is appropriate for a school audience, look at Scholastic. Look at the Scholastic Book Fair books, and that gives you an idea. Scholastic is pretty vigilant about that. They serve many, many millions of schools, and if you're look at Scholastic Book Fair books and their selections, and that gives you a good idea of what you could probably get away with and what you couldn't, right? So trust me, because if a Scholastic Book Fair book was deemed inappropriate, it would be very harmful for Scholastic, and so that they are pretty vigilant about that. Okay, so that's my little tip there. And I think that wraps it up. I don't want to run over, and I think I already have. So if you have any questions about how to look at the different formats so that you understand how to write for them, by all means, put them in the post as a comment. And when I get some time, I'll come back and see if I can answer those questions and perhaps do another post. And you'll be able to find it at writingforchildrenandteens.com. And thank you so much for your time, and I hope I helped you today. Take care. Bye-bye.